I want you to think of this thought, Charisse. This is something that I've contended with for years, especially probably from year 2 to year 10, okay, dealing with chronic pain, is that the message is your search for deeper meaning. I'm going to have you so chaotic in your mind, it's now brought to an end. Forget searching. Forget living. You're in despair, so how are you going to muscle up? How are you going to have that brute strength to keep going every day? And then what happens is we start to deplete, diminish. We don't have a resolute direction on how we're going to have a meaningful life. We start to get smaller and smaller and smaller, and we're wrapped up, and everything is taken away from us.
I think my hardest battle with your pain has been when hope has been eradicated from you at times. And you've really struggled with that at different times.
Yes, I have.
A deep depression, a deep, even though you won't put it on me, it's there. And it was there, especially in earlier years of our marriage, where that beast was left to some degree untamed.
It was untamed.
And
it was wild.
It was wild. And the thing that it really took away was that expectation or hope of a future. And it takes away that Jeremiah 29:11 message about, God says, I know the plans that I have for you, plans to give you a hope and a future. The battle is when you're in so much pain, where is that hope and where is that future? And when people who are, quote, religious are just maybe quoting that verse, but the beast is running wild in you, where do you begin to manage that? How do you manage that?
2 things come to mind. Number 1, even in the chronic pain phase, let's say year 2 to year 10, you do everything you can physically to try to resolve or reduce your pain or have some type of control. And that may be medication use, going to several physicians. It may be a homeopathic approach. It may be holistic healing approach. Whatever your approach is, that's what you're doing. But it never stops. The journey still lasts on looking for new methods and looking for healing, even now at year 27. Okay? So that's not going to stop. But the maximum amount that you're trying to establish, the maximum care that you're trying to get during years 2 and 10, you do that. Then probably the biggest battle is in your mind.
It is. It's always been that.
And so that untamed beast that's gnawing and clawing and biting and ripping and tearing up your systems and tearing up your hope and trying to tear up your future. You mentioned Jeremiah 29. That beast does not get to run wild with a renewal of your mind.
It stops the beast.
It calms it down significantly. So you start to develop a powerful attitude towards how you're going to deal with not just the pain, but deal with other compartments of your life. I don't care if it's your purpose, your meaning, your family, your work, your productivity. It started with the renewal of the mind. And I noticed that for me, I'm just talking about the progression of the journey. For me, I noticed that was years 2 through 10. And then now years 10 through 27, probably a stronger emphasis on moderation with the diet and the exercise and the holistic approach that I can take with my life with health, even though pain sometimes gets out of control. But I have a stronger journey of faith because of the renewal of the mind.
And that renewal begins with the choice.
Absolutely. We talked about it in the last podcast.
It's huge.
Who are you in pain? You are who you choose to be.
Come on, people. That is powerful.
Right.
The choice of who you choose to be is is still yours, even in pain.
And the second,
And it's mine. I have a choice too through this. Let me just interrupt for a second.
oh,
because
I'm waiting. Trace.
I mean, there isn't enough voice out there for the one suffering with the one who suffers. There just isn't enough. And I'm so sorry for the weary souls of the people that can't make the lives of those they love so much feel better physically. When they can't make that better, there is a tear in my heart for you because I know what you're going through. I know the battle. And in our early parts of the marriage, I know how I felt like I was ineffective. And that there were times where that beast in me, the lies that I started to believe, was that I am not making a difference in his life. I can't make this better. I don't have significance in this situation. Maybe it would be better if we were just not together. I can't make a difference.
Right. You're being very vulnerable and honest right now.
It was, and I don't even think we've talked about that. So, I mean, I'm sorry if I'm hitting you up publicly right now, but those are the very private, intimate battles that I would take to God. I would take that discouragement. I would take that part of the untamed beast in me, the part that said, you're not good enough. You're not helping him enough. You're not making a difference. It's only going to get worse and worse with him. Don't you want to be free? Don't you want to be, do you really want to take this on?
Right.
And there were times where I didn't. I'll be honest. But I'll tell you what did overcome that. It was a choice. It was a choice. And my choice was love.
Right.
And love conquers all. Love wins. And I love you.
Yes.
And I've always loved you. And there was a choice to say, I am not quitting. He's not quitting. I'm not quitting.